All right, thank you, Jeanette, and welcome everyone today. Now let's dive right in. There are developments in the market that have been happening for the past few weeks, and in my opinion, are likely to continue for the next few months at a minimum. You see, the United States stock market, it leads the world, and the United States has an election coming up, if you can believe it, on Tuesday of this week, that could be the most important election in the history of the United States. And at the same time, it is shaping up to be the most controversial and contested election we have seen in our lifetimes. Now, just like this past week, I believe moving forward, we are likely to see an increase in volatility, which, based on what I'm going to teach you today, is going to create, in my opinion, a once-in-a-generational opportunity to make money in the stock market. Now, many traders out there feel like volatility is the enemy, but I'm going to show you how volatility, after sitting through my training, is going to be your new best friend. I really want everyone to take this to heart. In the 2000 election, right, the last one that was contested, we saw a spike in volatility of over 40%. So I do believe there will be an increase in volatility moving forward, and I want everyone to keep that in the back of their minds during this training today. So what I'm about to share with you is truly incredible, because after trading for myself for over 13 years, after making over $1 million of profits trading for myself, and after working with thousands of individual traders, I have just never seen the kind of results that I'm about to share with you today. So my team and I have found, after 8 months of studying the data, after studying over 2,500 stocks and over 5 million data points, we have found something which I consider to be a breakthrough. So here's what we're going to cover during this training. I'm going to show you a non-directional, let me repeat that again, a non-directional 7-day strategy in Facebook that has returned 2,087% with a 90% success rate. I'm also going to show you how I made over $77,000 in 2 days in Expedia this year, following specific and hidden momentum indicators in the market. I'm also going to show you how you can simply scan for these opportunities daily without having to do any research yourself. I'm also going to show you how you can join me live next Saturday for a Kickstart to Consistency class. But most importantly, I'm going to show you how to become a much more consistent trader overnight. Now, my big promise to you for being a part of this training is, first of all, you're going to have a blast. This is a ton of fun, and I absolutely love teaching individual traders how to get much more consistent results. But ultimately, my big bold promise is that after sitting through this training, you will never trade options the same way ever again. Just like Jason, he's loving how so many of these trades profit so quickly. That is because Jason has learned what I'm about to teach you. Or Kishon, 34.9% profit in MCHP in just 2 hours. Kishon has learned what I'm about to teach you. And Brad, look at all of these winning trades. Average just 4 days in the trades. And then he says, holy moly, Batman, this is the bomb, baby. That is because Brad has also learned what I'm about to teach you. But before we get into all the good stuff, I want to make sure that you are in the right place. So if you are sick and tired of getting chopped up by the market and are ready to have much more consistent results moving forward, then this is for you. If you are confused about exactly when to get in and exactly when to get out and would rather know those answers days in advance, then this is for you. If you want to finally generate that weekly income, or if you are looking to achieve financial freedom, then you are in the right spot. And finally, if you need a specific and step-by-step plan and want to avoid learning it all on your own, then this is for you. This is something anyone can do, even very part-time. Now, guys and gals, I hope you're starting to feel like you are in the right place. If you are in the right place, let me know in the chat box right now by giving me a big fat 44. I want to make this training as interactive as possible, so please give me a 44 in the chat box if you are in the right place. Exactly. Look at all of those 44s. We have so many traders in the right place. This is going to be so much fun. So my goal for this training is to make this training worth at least $5,000 to your investments. And look, these are the exact same strategies that I use and I share with my students, and they work. So there's no doubt in my mind, you're going to get the kind of value if you commit with me. So my ask is that you just treat this training as if you paid $5,000 to learn this. And what that really means is, look, I do know right now you have every opportunity to be distracted away from covering on this presentation. But if you want that $5,000 of value free out of this training, you have to limit all of those distractions and, of course, stay all the way until the end. Now, full transparency, I don't want anyone to have any anxiety about what might happen at the end of the training. We do have a community called Consistent Trader that will extend you an exclusive invitation to you for being a part of this training with me today. But you should know that if you want to join later on, there's going to be a ton of incentives such as live weekly coaching, access to my personal and proprietary scanner, and unlimited trade alerts at, of course, a giant discount. So the decision will be completely up to you at the end, but I just wanted to be 100% transparent so you could focus on the training and not worry about what comes next. And again, I promise you that if you pay attention, you're going to get that $5,000 of value out of this training. Does that sound like a fair deal to you? Very, very good. Very good. We got a lot of folks here today. Great. So who is this Stephen Brooks character who has been going on for the last handful of minutes? Well, yes, folks, that is me in the top right corner of the screen. I am a former professional baseball player, and I did play in the Kansas City Royals organization. That was a former life, though. Since then, I have made over $1 million of profits in the stock market. I'm currently an investing coach with clients all over the world who do have a combined $27 million under management. I'm also a traveler, a sports fanatic, and a foodie. Now, before we get started, you all know the drill. The lawyers, they make me write this slide. This is not a get-rich-quick type of thing. Nothing in the world is. You already understand that. We can move on from that subject. This is not effortless earnings. You will need to pay attention during this training. You will need to take notes. You will need to ask questions. And of course, you will need to take action on these methods following this training. But just because my methods are less risky does not mean that they are risk-free. And finally, as you all know, my results are not typical. However, I will walk you through the methods that I am using to get spectacular results. But please understand, folks, my results are not typical. Okay, traders, we are now into the meat and potatoes of this presentation. So if you did not have out a paper and pen up before, you want to go ahead and do that now, because on this very training live, you will be taught a systematic way to generate weekly income buying options without having to do any research yourself. And during this training, we are going to show you a few very specific examples of the exact trades to take to accomplish this. And the results are incredible. Now, the best part about this whole system may be that this can be accomplished by anyone, beginner or pro, as long as you are able to follow directions. So before we go ahead and get started, I do want you to know the methods that I'm going to teach you, they work hands down. So I need you all to promise me something. I need you all to promise me that after I share the exact step-by-step formula for generating weekly income buying options, that you're going to go out there and you're going to take action on this system immediately following this training. So give me a 55 in the chat box right now if you promise to take action on this system immediately following this training. Let me see who my action takers are on this training. Let me see those 55s in the chat box. Boy, do we have a lot of action takers here today. This is going to be so much fun. Look at all those action takers. So happy to have all you here today. Now, let's go back in time to November of 2019. I went to my data team. And for those of you who don't know, I have a large data team of data engineers. Right? So I went to the team and I asked them, can you go find me strategies that show consistent weekly profits in both bull and bear markets only by buying options? Now, I have to tell you, I assumed this was going to be a piece of cake. I've given my data team dozens of tasks over the last few years, and they have never failed me. So the team went out there, and here's what they did. They tried to find these technical patterns that would result in a stock going higher, buying calls in those cases, or when a stock would go lower and buying puts in those cases. So what my team did was we went out there as our first study and we bought call options on stocks that had exhibited a golden cross. Now, how many of you on this training have heard of the golden cross before? Give me a me in the chat box if you have heard of the golden cross before. Right, exactly. That's many of you, many of you. Now, why did we focus first on this golden cross? Well, the golden cross is generally accepted by Wall Street as being a very bullish signal. And in fact, even Jim Cramer of CNBC, he says something very similar, because Jim Cramer says the golden cross is the ultimate bullish signal. Now, what is this golden cross? A golden cross is when the 50-day moving average, that is the green line that you see on the screen, when that line crosses above the 200-day moving average. That is the red line that you see on the screen. When that happens, it is supposed to signal a bullish change in momentum. And if you search for these kind of charts on the internet, for these golden crosses, you're likely to find chart after chart after chart that looks just like this one. You see that golden cross happen, and the stock price immediately shoots to the moon. So my team went out there to try to run these tests. Again, seeing if buying call options on stocks that had exhibited a golden cross would work. I fully expected this to be the case. So what we did was this. We ran a study, and we went out there and we looked at the top 100 stocks based on volume. Right, those would be your Apples of the world, your Amazons, your Walmarts, your Johnson & Johnsons, and so on and so forth. And what we did again in those top 100 stocks based on volume is we went back to the year 2005 in the data, and we would purchase call options in any of those stocks when that golden cross occurred. That is it. And again, I expected to see tremendous results, but the problem was the results were weak at best. 39% win rate, an average negative return per trade. And of course, this was surprising to me because I had thought that the golden cross was really an accepted bullish signal. But the truth is, buying calls on a bullish signal, even in some of the names that have really gone up in the past 15 years, it's just not a profitable strategy. The numbers don't support it. Now, of course, we didn't just stop there and throw in the towel. We also researched other technical patterns that were also accepted as bullish signals, such as the bullish engulfing pattern, which is an accepted bullish candlestick pattern. We also looked at bullish stochastic patterns and many, many more. And the truth is, none of them showed the level of consistency or profitability for us to be able to say that we found something that worked. Across the board, in all of these cases, the win rate less than 50%, average negative return per trade, not good. So after about 2.5 months, my data team, they had found nothing. And in fact, by the middle of February of this year, my data team, they came back to me and they said, we have found nothing. And we do not think we will ever find anything that meets our criteria of a consistently profitable strategy. Now, this was both confusing and perplexing to me at the same time. So much so that on February 24th of this year, my wife and I flew out of the greater New York City area where we live out to Scottsdale, Arizona. My wife was a sales champion for her company Zillow, and we were rewarded with a weeks-long retreat at a very nice resort out in Scottsdale, Arizona, with the executives of the company and the other sales champions. Now, for many of us, we know exactly what February 24th, 2020 is. It's not the day that little old me went on vacation. It was day one of the Corona crash. So my wife and I, we took this early flight out of New York City out to the Phoenix airport. And of course, as soon as we took off and as soon as we got to cruising altitude, I immediately opened up my laptop, I bought in-flight Wi-Fi, and I started working away. Now, less than 10 seconds into me working, or I should say attempting to work, my wife, she reached over and she shut my laptop and she said, Steven, what are you doing? What could be so important that you have to work on this right now? You are supposed to be on vacation and you have not taken a vacation in years. Close the laptop and do something you have never done before. Take a day off. Now, I told her, I have the team. Now, I call my data team the team. So I told her, I have the team working on this brand new project. We've been working on it for a few months, and the team has not been able to find any profitable strategies based on the tests we're running. And I have to tell you, I cannot believe this is happening because the team has never let me down before. And then she asked me, well, wait, what is the team working on and what are they trying to accomplish? And I told her, the team is going out there and they're trying to find me these weekly option strategies that show consistent profits at the level we are used to. And of course, we're trying to find times where we buy those options and they go up in value in roughly 1 week's time. And then she asked me, well, first, what is an option? And I told her, an option is just a way to bet on a stock without having to own the stock itself. And then she asked me, well, how does an option get its price? And I told her, an option gets its price from many different factors, interest rates, gamma, vega. But most importantly, options get their price from implied volatility. And then she asked me, okay, what happens to the price of an option if this implied volatility goes up or it goes down? And I told her, when implied volatility increases, the price of an option increases. Now, before I can even finish my sentence, my wife, she cut me off and she said, well, honey, maybe tell the team to look for times when that happens. If you are trying to find these times where options go up in value and that happens when implied volatility increases, maybe just shift the team's focus. Now, when she said this to me, I thought to myself, trading is supposed to be simple. And her suggestion, it is very simple. And so many traders have a habit of making it way more complicated than it should be. So I took her simple suggestion and I asked my team in an email, rather than trying to find me these times when stocks would go higher and buy calls in those situations, or when stocks would go lower and buy puts in those situations, let's instead go ahead and find me times when implied volatility would be increasing. Now, after I sent my team that email, I did close my laptop. I was supposed to be on vacation, and I thought it was a good time to start acting like it. So I closed my laptop for the remainder of the flight, and I did not check my email until we got to the hotel a few hours later. Now, we got to the hotel a few hours later. Here was the email that was sitting at the top of my inbox. It was from Justin, Justin is my lead data scientist. And it read like this. Boss, go look at the Google file I just sent you. I think we did it. We found a technical pattern that resulted in an 8.5 point increase in implied volatility over a week or so period. The results from this single study are better than anything we have found for you in the past and will blow even you away. Now remember, this is all happening when I'm 10,000 feet in the sky in a tin can on day one of the Corona crash. So Justin follows up with this. He says, also, in case you are not aware, coronavirus has finally gotten the market's attention. You're probably watching a movie right now, but the Dow is down over 1,000 points. I hope you have a safe rest of your flight. Now, what was so critical about this email? It was the second sentence. Let me read it again. He says, we found a technical pattern that resulted in an 8.5 point increase in implied volatility over a week or so period. Now, what about this 8.5 point increase in implied volatility is such a big deal? Well, we could see at the top part of the screen right now, we're looking at a very simple call option in Facebook, currently trading for $5.50. But on the bottom portion of the screen, we have simulated what happens to the value of that option with that 8.5 point increase again in implied volatility. And as we can see, by that happening alone, the price of the option increases by 35% without the stock doing anything at all. So what was this amazing technical setup that the team found? So here it is. When the stock price goes from above to below the 200-day moving average, and when that happens, if the stock price is also below its 10-day exponential moving average, when that has happened historically, we have seen that 8.5 point increase in implied volatility in about a week or so time. Now, earlier on this year, we did see this occur in Kinder Morgan, KMI. The stock price goes from above to below that 200-day moving average. And at the same time, it is also below that 10-day exponential moving average. And of course, as we can see, when that happens, what happens to implied volatility? It rockets higher. But the really impressive thing about this particular strategy is that implied volatility does not just increase when the price of the stock goes down, because we can see earlier on this year, we saw that exact same pattern occur in Mondelez. The stock went higher and volatility still increased. So when that happens, what do? We buy a 14-day strangle. Now, even if you don't know what a strangle is, don't worry. It is very easy to do. All it is, it's buying a call and a put at the same time. So going all the way back to Facebook's IPO back in 2012, if we just went out there every 2 weeks and we bought these strangles, as you can see, the results, weak at best, less than 50% win rate. And of course, the average trade is basically break even or maybe a little bit less than break even when you factor in things like commissions. Again, these results that you're looking at now on the screen, they're going out there every 2 weeks, rain or shine, and just placing the same trade. But remember, my data team, they were incredibly excited about the new way we were looking at the data when implied volatility would be increasing. So since 2012, instead of just placing this trade every 2 weeks and hoping for the best, we placed this trade at the right time when we knew implied volatility was going to be increasing. And take a look at the drastic difference in results. We take the win rate from 47% up to 90%. We take the average trade from break even to 208% per trade. A total return, folks, of 2,089%. And we're doing this all in less than 7 days. So how many of you would like to see this type of growth in a year, let alone 7 days? Give me a me in the chat box if you would like to see these type of results in your trading account. Absolutely. Look at all of those me's going on right now. This is fantastic. Now, the beauty of this kind of trade is that it does not matter if the stock goes up or it goes down. Because in the 10 trades in Facebook, 6 out of the 10 times, the stock went higher. 4 out of the 10 times, the stock went lower. Now, since Facebook's IPO, again, in 2012, the stock has grown pretty significantly from 38 bucks to about 266 bucks. That's nearly a 6-bagger. That means if you had invested just $1,000 in Facebook's IPO back in 2012, that $1,000 would have turned into nearly $6,000. $5,000 in Facebook's IPO would have turned into nearly $30,000. And $10,000 invested in Facebook's IPO, again, back in 2012, would have turned into nearly $60,000. But to get those big results, you would have had to stomach a 52% drawdown in 2012, a 40% drawdown in 2018, and a 34% drawdown in 2020. But instead of going through all of that, if you just bought options at the right time, when implied volatility is set to increase, the results were on a whole other level. Because instead of putting $1,000 into Facebook's IPO, if you started with just $1,000 and did just 10 trades in Facebook, that $1,000 would have turned into over $20,000. $5,000 in just 10 trades in Facebook would have turned into over $100,000. And $10,000 in just 10 trades in Facebook would have turned into over $200,000. Now, if I can come up with a real world analogy of what implied volatility is, I would say a good analogy would be an escalator that is going down. Like you're at the mall and there's an escalator going from the second floor down to the food court on the first floor, like for Chick-fil-A or Sbarro's. When we're going out there every day, willy-nilly, buying call options in stocks that we hope to go higher, or buying put options in stocks that we hope to go lower, it is like you are walking up an escalator that is going down. It is very challenging to do because the escalator is working against you. Implied volatility, or that escalator, they're always working against us in that scenario. Now, if you are a struggling trader, this is not your fault. It is very easy to fall into this trap. Your account feels like something is dragging it lower and lower and lower. It is that escalator working against you. It is implied volatility working against your options. But of course, it is much easier for us to get where we want to be when we have implied volatility, or that escalator, going in our direction. It is like sailing with the wind as opposed to against it. It is like rowing downstream as opposed to rowing upstream. And it is the exact single reason for how we were able to take the exact same trade, just doing it at the right time. When implied volatility is set to increase, it drastically increases the results. This was my big aha moment. And if you're sitting there having an aha moment right now, go ahead and give me a yes in the chat box. Absolutely. Look at all those people going aha and yes in the chat box. Very cool. Now, let's for a moment go back to our first study, because remember, we were going out there looking to buy options on these supposed bullish technical patterns. And just by doing that, remember, the results were not great. But ask yourself, why were the results so poor? It was because we were not factoring in the need to only buy options when we had the wind in our backs, when implied volatility was set to increase. So the question is, what did the results look like to our test when we realized the missing key to the entire equation? Because remember, we bought these call options in those top 100 stocks based on volume when those supposed bullish patterns happen, and the results, not great. But as we can also see, by buying options at the right time, when implied volatility is set to increase, now we're talking. Clearly, buying options at the right time, when implied volatility is set to increase, remember when the wind is at our backs, we have tremendously better success. Now, the most obvious next question is, well, what do we do next? Well, the average trader likely wakes up every morning and maybe they'll read the Wall Street Journal or like Investors Business Daily. And then they'll turn on the television. They'll turn on CNBC or they'll turn on Bloomberg to determine what's going on in the market. And then after that, most traders, they're likely to go log in to their online brokerage account and start going through chart after chart after chart after chart and after chart. And I call this the average trader's daily research routine. And in fact, listen to this. According to Triz Fund, the average retail trader, like the stay-at-home trader, spends 2 hours and 13 minutes a day just doing research. Now, we are not trying to be professional researchers. We're trying to go out there and generate a profit. So based on those numbers provided to us by Triz Fund, that means the average trader is spending over 10 hours a week just doing research, or over 500 hours a year just doing research. I am sure you can completely understand why so many traders feel like they don't have enough time to trade. The problem is that by trading this way, right, where you have to do new research every day and of course spend countless hours doing so, right, it just takes forever. I'm here today to tell you that if you are one of those traders who is constantly doing research, reading financial news, studying chart after chart after chart, well then you, my friend, are trading backwards. That's right, you are trading backwards. Because again, remember, the old way, we wake up, we read the financial news, Investors Business Daily, the Wall Street Journal, and then what we'll do is we'll turn on that financial television, whether it's Fox Business or it's CNBC or it's Bloomberg. And then what we'll do is we will analyze countless charts, dozens of charts. We will add trend line after trend line to those charts. We will add indicator after indicator to those charts. In fact, you know what? Let me know in the chat box if you're one of those traders that spends way too much time analyzing charts. Give me a me in the chat box if that is you. Exactly. We have way too many of them, right? So, wow, there's a lot of you. Very cool. So after that, again, after you analyze all those charts, after you've done all that research, maybe then you will actually place a trade. And then whether you place that trade or not, in order to find a new trade, you are likely to have to go all the way back to step one. But remember, that is the old way. That is trading backwards. And I told you earlier, trading should be simple. And the old way, it is not very simple at all. So the new way, well, we do the research once, not for hours each day, once. Remember, my team went out there and ran that study in Facebook and had incredible profits. We only did that research once, and we only need to do that research once. So after we do the research, again, just one time, then what do? We add the trade to a scanner, and the scanner is doing the research for us each and every day. And then what do? Well, we sit back, we relax, and we wait for the scanner to tell us to take the trade or not. Now, the new way, right? Doing the research once, adding it to the scanner, having the scanner do the research for us every day, it really solves a lot of problems that the average trader has on a given day. Because to me, the new way with the scanner, it solves three major issues, okay? The first issue is I don't know which kind of trade to place. Now, of course, I have developed a scanner for these methods, and it literally tells you the exact trade to take. This is a screenshot from my proprietary scanner, and when you hover over a trade, it literally tells you the exact trade to take. I don't know what trade to place, problem solved. But that is not the only problem that a scanner like this solves. It also solves the problem of I don't know when to get in and when to get out. Why? Because the scanner literally tells you exactly when to get in and exactly when to get out before you even place the trade. Problem solved again. Now, the third problem that the scanner solves is I don't feel confident in my trade. Well, the scanner gives you right there on the page the historical results for placing that exact trade in that exact stock. So for example, as we can see, KMI, Kinder Morgan, has had very strong results previously for this trade. 157% was the average trade this year. And remember, the scanner has already told you exactly what trade to take, exactly when to get in, and exactly when to get out. So all you have to do is just place the trade. Now, we saw the same thing in Starbucks. Remember, we already know the trade. We already know the entry plan and the exit plan. And we see that even during the financial crisis, Starbucks had very good results on this trade. So we just go ahead and place it. In fact, right now, give me a me in the chat box if you are starting to see how the new way of trading, the one where we do the research once and only once, and then we add it to the scanner, is going to save you a tremendous amount of time moving forward. Exactly. Amazing. Now, as most of you know, right, when I find a new method or new strategy that looks really good on paper, yes, of course, I do try it out myself. But one of the things that I really like to do is try them out with someone who has zero trading experience. Because I feel if I can show someone, again, with zero trading experience how to excel, that anyone who can follow simple step-by-step instructions can do well also. So I asked my younger brother if he would like to help me out. Now, I sent him this email. His name is David. And I said, David, I just came across a bunch of really strong trading strategies that look to work very well, and I'd like for you to be my guinea pig and try them out. These strategies require very little money to do, so I added just $500 to a trading account for you. I know you are busy with work, so I created a scanner for you that will give you the results of just 2 of the trades. One where you buy a 3-day call and one where you buy a 14-day put. We can chat more about it later, but each day you can just check the scanner at the same time, put in the trades, and be done. Sound good? Now, a little bit after that, he responded to me by saying this. He said, sure, as long as we can do the first trade together. So on May 15th of this year, the scanner showed that Expedia was in a setup that also showed very good results. And by buying a simple 3-day call at the proper strike and the proper expiration in Expedia over the last decade, it gave some very good results. Now, of course, even though the stock price of Expedia was higher back in 2017. Over the last year, it has still risen 383%. So in theory, we would expect that buying 3-day calls in a stock that has gone up nearly fourfold would work very well. And of course, when we just go out there and we buy calls in Expedia every 3 days, again, remember, in a stock that has gone up nearly 400% in the last decade, the results, again, not very good. But by knowing the right time to buy these 3-day calls, when implied volatility is set to increase, well, as you can see, it makes all the difference in the world. We take the win rate from 40% up to 66%. We take the average trade from negative to 12.89%, and we're doing it in just 3 days. Now, remember, the agreement that I had between myself and my younger brother was we would do the first trade together. So when Expedia showed up on the scanner on May 15th, 2020, we both took the exact same trade. And in just 3 trading days, I made over $77,000 in profits from this one single trade. It is truly amazing what your results can be when you know the right time to buy options, when implied volatility is set to increase. So my brother went out there and he sent me an email about 1 month later, just 1 month later. And it read like this. He says, hey, so the account has already doubled and it's a little more than $1,000 in it right now. I have checked the scanner only 3 times a week and have done 9 trades so far, and he listed them below. And then he follows up with this. He says, all in all, I would say, I imagine for trading, it does not get any easier than this. I just looked at the scanner around 3 o'clock 3 times a week and took the trades that showed up in the 2 columns that you created for me. Thanks, I will take you to sushi with the profits if you want. Now, with this email, he also sent me an attachment in that email that showed that my younger brother, who had 0 trading experience, by following my step-by-step instructions and checking a scanner 3 times a week, was able to have a 106% return on his entire portfolio. Give me a 106 in the chat box if you think that a 106% return is a fantastic result. Absolutely, that result is amazing, amazing, amazing. So let's recap what we have gone over so far. Remember, we first talked about how even in the most bullish patterns that Wall Street has to offer, buying calls in those instances, it's a losing strategy. It does not work. But by buying options at the right time, when implied volatility is set to increase, it makes all the difference in the world. And then we talked about how the old way of trading, right, the one where we spend countless hours researching brand new trade ideas every single day, talking yourself out of placing trades and missing out on huge profit potential, that is just a thing in the past. Why? Because the new way, the simple way of doing the research once and adding it to a scanner, it not only saves you a ton of time, but it gives you a lot of focus and a lot of clarity. So at the beginning of this training, I promise you that you will learn new ideas that would start making you money immediately, whether you are a beginner or pro. So I have to ask you, was our time together valuable? Did you enjoy this training? Do you understand now how I'm able to do what I do in the stock market, and some of my students are able to get such big time results? And can you see how this system will allow you to profit immediately, whether you are a beginner or a pro? And on top of that, do you see how little time and knowledge is really need to invest? Because here's the deal. I have complete confidence in you. Why? Well, because you all promised me that you're going to go out there and you were going to take action on this system immediately following this training. And while we did spend about 45 minutes together and go over a few exceptional trades, there's only so much we can go over. Imagine for a second spending more time together, how much more valuable that would be to you. Now, in the beginning, I also promised you an opportunity to join me in taking your next steps together by joining our Consistent Trader program, which is designed to give you the exact step-by-step formula for generating consistent weekly income. So, are you ready to see what we have put together for you and how you can start to utilize this information immediately? Because as you probably know by now, I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to make this as easy as possible, but most importantly, I'm here to make sure that you make more money moving forward than you ever have before. Now, what we are looking to do is we're looking to launch this as a brand new program next week to the general public. But because this is exactly what you have been looking for, and the timing in the market just could not be better for these strategies, I like to bring you on board today as one of my VIP members, and we're going to call this Consistent Trader for those who are looking to become true consistent traders today. So folks, here is what's finally going to work for you. The first thing you're going to get with Consistent Trader are my options buying trade setups. Now, currently in Consistent Trader, we have 16 methods that show spectacular results. Just take a look at how good these results are. A 7-day trade this year that has a 50.43% return on average. A 14-day trade this year that has a 53.68% return on average. Now, the results that you see before you, they're not based off of me cherry picking one or two high performers. These are the average results of the average returns of our back tests from over the top 100 highest volume names. So these are the average return of the average trade this year in over 100 stocks. And of course, these methods, they don't look very good on paper. They also work very well in the real world. Like NIDA, in one day, a 200+% winner in JP Morgan, a 200+% winner in CTXS, a 300+% winner in eBay. Or Tom, he says he made $2,900 in profits in 4 days. And the result of that is he made enough to cover his mortgage for a month. Now, as I mentioned before, next week, we are going to launch this to the general public. And when we do, we will be charging $1,997 for just the trades alone. Now, I love working with action takers just like Tom, because it's students like Tom who go on to get the greatest success because they don't hesitate in the market. So, for the first 50 new members today, those action takers just like Tom, I want to give you multiple very special one-time bonuses. So yes, with Consistent Trader, you're going to get the trade setups. But for my first 50 action takers today, you're also going to get access to my personal scanner. Now, I don't want you to have to do any research yourself. Now, of course, I am going to share with you the exact setups for each of our methods. But even then, if you don't want to do any research yourself, you can just take a look at the scanner each day, and the scanner will do all of the research for you, and it will show you all the trades to take on that day. Remember, the scanner solves the problem of I don't know what kind of trade to place because the scanner just tells you. It solves the problem of I don't know when to get in or when to get out because the scanner tells you exactly when to get in and exactly when to get out before you even place the trade. And of course, it solves the problem of I don't feel confident in my trade because it gives you the historical data of those trades in that stock right there on the scanner. And of course, my members love the scanner. Why wouldn't they? Carl just closed a Starbucks trade for 80% profit in less than 2 hours. Why? Because he found it in the scanner earlier that day. Or Ken, TJX calls from the scanner yesterday closed for 50%. Or Aaron, look at this. As for Consistent Trader, since the scanner went live less than 2 weeks ago, I have now closed 24 trades with 21 winners and 3 losers for a total profit after commissions of $32,485 in just 11 calendar days. That is just nuts. For my first 50 action takers, you're going to have access to my scanner. That alone cost me $25,000 to make, but it can be yours free if you're one of those first 50 action takers. So with Consistent Trader, of course, you're going to get the trade setups. But for my first 50 action takers, you're going to have access to my personal scanner so the scanner can do the research for you each and every day. On top of that, I want to do this together. So you're going to join me live each and every week for a live webinar training so you can see what's working for me live and get your questions answered by me in real time. And on top of that, if once a week is not good enough for you, for our first 50 action takers, you're also going to have 24/7 access to our private members only Facebook group or email support, because we're not even close to being done. Because for my first 50 action takers, you're going to receive unlimited trade alerts. That's right. Every time I place a trade, you will know. Here's an example of one of our trade alerts. We give you all the information you need to be successful following my trade. We give you the stock, the type of trade, the expiration, the strike price, the profit target, and the stop loss. And in fact, we also give you the explanation for why we took the trade. In this example, it was this. Over the last 10 years, 30-day momentum calls in Home Depot have returned 2,807% with an average return of over 200% per day. In fact, give me a yes in the chat box if you would like to get trade alerts just like this one sent directly to you. Exactly, who won? And on top of that, we normally charge an additional cost to receive text message alerts, but not for my first 50 action takers today. I don't want any of these alerts via email to get lost in the shuffle. I want you to get every single one of my trade alerts in real time. That means for my first 50 action takers, I'm going to instantly upgrade you to receive SMS alerts. Now, everything in this training session, as well as in Consistent Trader, we are fully 100% transparent. Here are all of the trade alerts we have done since we started this program back in August. We have a bunch of winning trades. We have a few losing trades. And the result of that is 29.85% per alert, not winner, per alert. And of course, my members love them. Ron, Steven's CCL trade from yesterday, 86% winner overnight. Or George, thank you for your call on IBM. He made 235% in 3 days. Or Nick, that's 5 trades in a row since what is that? That is October 6th with a minimum gain of 47.6% thanks to the Consistent Trader methodology. So again, with Consistent Trader, you're gonna get the trade setups, which again will be sold by themselves next week for $1,997. But for my first 50 action takers today, you're gonna have access to my personal scanner, the one that cost me over $25,000 to create. Live weekly coaching, members only Facebook group, unlimited trade alerts directly to your phone. But we're still not done, because when you're one of my first 50 action takers today, I want you to hit the ground running, and I want to do this together. So you're going to join me live next Saturday for a Kickstart to Consistency class. And on that Kickstart class, we're going to cover exactly how to place each of our trades, exactly how to build a powerhouse portfolio, and exactly how to compound all of your profits. But most importantly, during the Kickstart class next weekend, I'm going to show you all of the best right now opportunities. And these are amazing. Like a 3-day trade in NVIDIA that returns 47% per trade. A 7-day trade in JD that returns 82% per trade. Or a 3-day trade in CrowdStrike that returns 181% per trade this year. And the good news is there are so many other amazing right now opportunities. So the total value of Consistent Trader is $18,182. But as I told you before, we were going to make this training worth at least $5,000 to your investments. And I know that we proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt that was true. And as you guys also know, I'm not going to charge you $18,182 to get access to my proprietary scanner, to unlimited trade alerts, or to the Kickstart class next weekend. But I have a question for you. What if I did charge you $18,182? Then would it be worth it, if all it did was allow you to not have to research which stocks to buy calls on or which stocks to buy puts on, because our scanner will give you those answers daily, then would it be worth it, right? To not have to do any research yourself and just be gifted with these incredible opportunities, then would it be worth it? I think so as well. Now, if all it did was prevent you from buying options at the wrong time and teach you how to buy options at the right time, then would it be worth it? Absolutely it would, right? And if all it did was allow you to not miss out on any opportunities that I sent out because of your instant upgrade to our SMS alerts, then would it be worth the investment? Like, ask yourself, would it be worth it to see the exact trades I take, the ones which allowed me to make over $337,000 in 5 months this year in my real money personal trading account? These are screenshots of my account statements. These are not Excel files. These are real results for my real money trading account this year. Then would it be worth it? 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000. Look, I told you at the start of this presentation, we would not charge you an arm and a leg. I told you that all I really wanted was to cover my cost, right? My cost at the time that I put in to make this possible, my cost of my team of data scientists that spent hours upon hours, days upon days, coming up with this cutting edge information that will allow you to become a much more consistent trader moving forward. So you can see why this is a steal, even at $18,182. Now, I told you before, we are going to sell this program next week, literally Monday, for $1,997 just for the trade setups. But I was thinking to myself, these are my action takers. And I want to not only stack the value with 6 incredible bonuses, but I also want to really make it such a great deal for our VIP members today. So I decided for our action takers, we're going to give them all a $500 instant credit, taking the price down to $1,497. But then I woke up this morning and I thought to myself, you know what, Steven? Yeah, a $500 discount is great. But what if we double that here today? And instead of giving everyone a $500 discount, what if we double that discount to $1,000? And then I thought to myself, I know Toast to Traders is going to be chock full of action takers. So for the first 10 serious action takers, I'm also going to provide you a one-on-one phone consultation with me. So ladies and gentlemen, you can get started today for $9.97. And instead of having to pay a subscription, we're going to offer this to you as a nice and simple one-time payment. And again, remember, this is only going to be available for our first 50 action takers today. So open up those browser tabs, head on over to stevenbrooks.co, TradeThirsty.com/consistent and invest in yourself today. Now, over the past few months, we have had a group of beta testers. They've come on board with this program to try out our methods, give us feedback, work out all the kinks before you open enrollment to you as a VIP member. So listen to this one. If you are sitting there thinking that $9.97 is too much of a one-time payment, take a look at the results from our beta testers. In your first month with Consistent Trader, have you generated a profit? Out of the 50 beta testers, 45 said yes. 1 said no. Only 1 out of 50 did not generate a profit. If you have generated a profit with Consistent Trader, how much? 75% of the respondents made over $1,000 in their first month, and maybe even more impressive. Look at this one. If you have made your money back with Consistent Trader, how quickly did you do that? Look at this, folks. More than half of our beta testers made their money back in the first 2 weeks. So again, we will be selling this program next week to the general public for $1,997 just for the trade setups. But for my first 50 action takers today, the ones who truly want to become consistent traders, 6 incredible bonuses, access to my personal scanner, the one that cost me over $25,000 to create, live weekly coaching, members only Facebook group, unlimited trade alerts, not just sent to your email, but also sent directly to your phone, and a Kickstart class this Saturday. $997 as a one-time payment for our first 50 action takers today. So open up those browser tabs, head on over to stephenbrooks.co/consistent and invest in yourself today. Now, we have done a deal with PayPal to extend credit to our US customers. Unfortunately, PayPal does not extend credit to our international customers, but they can still pay via credit card. So if you head on over to stephenbrooks.co/consistent, there will be a blue button at the bottom of the page that says Pay with PayPal. If you click on that button, you'll be sent over to PayPal. And if you choose to check out via PayPal credit, PayPal will give us the $997 investment today. And then you will enter into a payment plan with payments as low as $27 a month. So if you live in the United States and you would like to get started today and pay later, PayPal credit may be a wonderful opportunity for you. And again, PayPal does not extend this to our international customers, but they can still pay via credit card. So that is the presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Really quickly, the URL is stephenbrooks.co/consistent. What I'm going to do really quickly, folks, is I'm going to take a little bit of a swig of water, catch my breath, catch my voice, and I'll come back in about 30 seconds to answer all of these questions. And while I'm taking this little bit of a drink of water, I'll also check and see how many of our bonus slots we have available today. So bear with me for about 10-15 seconds, and I'll come back. I'll share with you how many slots we have left, and we'll go through these questions together. All right, so for any of the moderators, it looks like my GoToWebinar stuff is frozen. So if you want to just go ahead and rifle through these questions for me, have somebody maybe jump in with me, that would be very helpful right now.
Can you hear me, Stephen?
And for those folks out there, we do have right now, let me just count this really quickly, about 31 slots remaining. So start asking those questions away. And while we're doing this Q&A, in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you're going to see testimonials and feedback from our beta testers like Gerard. He made 40% profit in 3 hours from one trade. Or Denny, he made it a 40% profit in 1 day from TJX. Or Jason, 69.9% return on his first 8 trades. Or Robert, 17.6% profit in less than 24 hours in NRG. Or Rodney, 192% profit in 1 day from one trade. So let's see what's going on with some of these questions here.
Steven, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You want me to ask you some of the questions?
Yeah, go through all of them. It looks like my question box is frozen.
Okay. Is this a pattern thing or a seasonal search thing?
This is not a seasonal thing. We don't factor seasonals into this. We look for these technical patterns, right? So for example, we showed you earlier on today, we saw that technical pattern occur, right, in Facebook. So when that happens, remember, we do the research once, we add it to the scanner. The scanner will say if a stock has fit that criteria. And of course, if it fit the criteria, then we go ahead and place the trade. Seasonality is not a factor in this.
Okay, cool. All right. Just wondering if there were, okay, let's see. Okay, wait, I'm reading this wrong. How much do you, if you're labeled a frequent trader, do you have to have $25,000 account to start with?
Sure. So pattern day trading, right? You have to have 20 in the United States. I don't really remember what the regulations are for, outside of the United States, but for US customers, if you have $25,000 or less, you cannot do 3 round trips in a given week, right? So that is not even close to a problem at all. One of the really nice things of being one of my first 50 action takers today is we're going to have a Kickstart class together next Saturday. So if you maybe have an account that's $25,000 or less, and you're concerned if you may be flagged as a pattern day trader, we can talk together and figure out together a plan for how you can utilize Consistent Trader without having to worry about getting dinged as a pattern day trader. And again, look at Kevin, 40% winner in a day. Bob, 122% winner in a day. Joyce, 19% winner overnight. They have all learned what is Inconsistent Trader, and that's what I want for you to learn as well.
Okay, Steven, is there an annual renewal cost?
No, so for our VIP members today, our first 50 members, this is $9.97 as a one-time payment. So once you come on board with Consistent Trader, there is no additional cost to you moving forward. So it's $9.97 as a one-time payment, and that's all she wrote. Like you see right now, we do have 17 slots still remaining.
Okay, cool. Yes, the class is being recorded. The offer is for this event right now, but we will have the recordings out in a couple of days. What if you don't know what a strangle is? How does a strangle alert go out? What does the alert actually say? What does an actual alert say in a strangle?
Great question. So when we think about everything, I want you to be fully transparent. One of the reasons why, and in fact, the biggest reason why we continue to provide trade alerts is because in our experience, in my experience, by providing trade alerts, that is how we can show everyone that we're walking the walk and how we can reinforce our education. So a strangle is only one out of the 16 different types of trades we place. The rest are just buying a call or buying a put. All a strangle is buying a call and a put at the same time. For each of our trades in this program, we provide you documentation that you can have on your screen, you can have on your computer, you can have on your phone, or you can print out and have next to you. And the documentation will walk you through step by step how to place every single one of our trades. So one of the things that I like so much about this program is folks who are successful with this program, there's 2 things about them that separate themselves from everything else. Number 1, they are action takers, which is why we open up these bonuses for our first 50 action takers only. And the second thing, and the reason why you see Robert, look at that, 61% winner. Fred, 40% winner. Carl, 40% winner. Paulette, 97% winner. And she says, this program is better than I could have ever imagined. There's 2 things that these members do. Number 1, they're action takers. Number 2, they are able to follow step-by-step instructions. So for each of the trades, we literally walk you through step-by-step how to place each and every one of those.
Okay, someone's asking, is there a recurring annual cost?
No, so again, folks, just for our first 50 members, next week, as I mentioned before, we will be selling this program for just the trade setups, and we will be charging $1,997. But again, because I want to bring you on board today, because I love Toasted Traders and the TradeThirsty family, we want to not only cut that price in half as a one-time payment. Everyone else is going to make you pay a yearly fee, not us. And on top of that, we're going to give you 6 incredible bonuses today. Think about this for a second. That scanner, the one that I use, the one that I place my trades from, and the ones that my members of Consistent Trader use every day, that cost me over $25,000 to create. That is worth 25 times your one-time cost in this program. So again, folks, open up those browser tabs, head on over to stephenbrooks.co/consistent and invest in yourself today. I can see that we do only have 9 slots remaining.
Stephen, did you put out any alerts last week? And if not, why?
So we have been getting lighter on some of our trades going up until the election, and specifically the week before the election. The data shows that our numbers get very skewed up until the election, and specifically that 1 week before the election. So if I can go back here and I can show you our alerts. I mean, again, we're not hiding anything. There were a lot of people out there this week that were chasing the market up or chasing the market down, and we're getting chopped up big time. I don't know about you, but I'm totally okay with having an average result per trade of 29.85%. So yes, we were a little bit lighter this week, but that's kind of the name of the game. The best traders in the world, they know when to really step on the gas and really place a lot of trades. And they also know when are the times to maybe pump the brakes and not be so aggressive. So again, either way you cut it, I would say these results of 29.85% per alert are probably pretty good.
Heck yeah. All right. Does the scanner offer more puts and calls than strangles?
Great question. So out of the 16 different types of trades that we do in this program, only one of them is an actual strangle. That means 15 of them are either buying just a call or buying just a put, right? And again, one of the things that I like so much about the scanner, now that we were asked about the scanner, one of the things that I like about it so much is so many traders have a very bad habit of going out there and over trading, just doing a ton of different trades. They see this stock is going up, they need to buy it immediately. They see this stock is going down, they need to sell it immediately. One of the things that we have noticed with our scanner is for many of our members of Consistent Trader, I mean, look at Ken, a 56% winner on his first trade, or Kevin, a 22.5% winner in Starbucks, or Tom, again, $2,900 in profits in 4 days, enough to cover his mortgage. One of the things that we're seeing with our current members of Consistent Trader is because of the scanner, they are over trading less. And because they're over trading less, they are placing more quality trades. And because of that, the results are incredible. Like Ren, a 50% winner in a day in Tesla. Like Steve, his first 2 trades, big winners. Or Alex, a 50% profit target from yesterday in Starbucks. That is because the scanner spits out the quality of the quality of the quality. And for many of our members, they miss out on placing some of these much more lower quality trades than they're used to.
All right. And we are going to take one more question. There's so many in here. You have so many trades on the scanner. Should we take your alerts as the most conservative approach at risk?
You are responsible for the trades that you make. Okay, you're responsible for the trades that you make. One of the nice things is, look, Fred by himself made a 40% profit in Baidu. Robert by himself, 25% winner in Workday. Philip, 33% winner in Workday overnight. Look at Bob, a 59% winner in Workday on 20 contracts. That's a lot of money that he's making. Look at Gerard. Last week has been exciting and rewarding. 7 winners and 1 loser. But as you're looking at the screen, don't worry so much about the winner. Look at the 1 single loser. It was only a 6% loser. So again, the trade alerts, the reason why we do the trade alerts is because we reinforce our education via the trade alerts. Because again, we show you the trades I'm making, we show you what stocks, the type of trade, when to get in, when to get out, and a reasoning behind the trade. All of the trades that I place as a part of this program, they come directly from the scanner. And one of the things that I like so much about the scanner is you don't need any specific online brokerage to be able to actually go out there and utilize the scanner. The scanner is a Google document. I hope everyone's really paying attention. The scanner
Yep.
is a Google document that as long as you have internet access, you can access the scanner. So we have folks right now as a part of this program from about 13 different countries. They're all on many different time zones. Like Mark, I know Mark lives outside of the US, and he was able to go to the scanner, as you can see, make 34% in AEO and 61% in Workday. Because the nice thing is, after learning about the scanner once, there's no more research that you have to do. All you have to do is, with internet access, view the scanner and follow the instructions from the scanner. Again, it's so simple to follow. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, is this right for me? Again, there's two things that people like George do that made a 50% winner in Starbucks, or John, a 40% winner in Chewy, or Denny, a 40% winner in CTXS, or Bob, a big winner in Peloton. There's two things that these traders do. Number one, they are action takers. Number two, they're able to follow step-by-step instructions. Now, quickly, I'm going to answer a couple more FAQs because I can see that we have 4 last remaining slots. Here's the deal, folks. If you are not getting results like Robert has or George has, look at this. Think about this. Imagine for a second you enroll in Consistent Trader today as one of our final 4 bonus members. Look what he says. Incredible first week in Consistent Trader. He closed 5 trades this week, all for profits. The profits paid for the membership. Thank you for this program, Stephen Brooks. Why was George able to do that? Again, he is an action taker. He is able to follow step-by-step instructions. Absolutely 100%. And again, Robert, 40% winner. Sal, 40% winner and 60% winner. Again, why are the results so good? It's like we explained during this training. Going out there and thinking a stock is going to go higher and buying a call in that situation, mathematically speaking, historically speaking, that does not work very well. And the same thing with buying puts. You think a stock is going to go down, you buy a put. Even if the stock goes down, you might not make money. Why is that? How is that? It's because you are not factoring in the need to buy options at the right time, when implied volatility is set to increase and the results are on a completely different level. Look at Alex. This is really cool. Alex in DocuSign, and I can see we have 3 slots remaining. Alex in DocuSign made 40% profits. Excuse me. Alex in DocuSign, he had a limit order to close the trade when he reached a 40% profit target. That's pretty good. And instead, because implied volatility worked so much in his favor, he instead had a 134% profit. And just icing on the cake, a 40% winner in Avago. Or Joseph, 23% winner in Home. Here's a question that I get asked a lot. Stephen, how much time do your members spend trading per day? Remember, that's the old, asking a question like that is the old way of trading. That's the old way of trading. You do research every day, you watch the news, you read the newspaper, you study charts, you look at indicators, and then maybe after all that, you place a trade. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. That is the old way of trading. The new way of trading, and why our average member is spending less than 10 minutes a day trading, is because all that research is already done. It's been done weeks or months ago. So now all we do is we take a look at the scanner, and the scanner spits out the best opportunities. I mean, look at Jim. Just closed Home Consistent Trader trade for a 40% profit. Consistent Trader is just like the name says, consistent profits. This service is great. Now, I do see one last question here, but I do want to let our folks know we do have 1 bonus slot remaining. And the question is, can I do these trades in my IRA? Great question. So here's the deal with that. You don't need a margin account to just purchase options. We don't do spreads. We don't sell options. There's no iron condors. There's no credit spreads. There's no cover calls, none of that. The beauty about just being able to purchase options is all you need is an account with the money in the account. You don't need any specific margin requirements or account requirements to place this trade. I do a lot of these trades in my trading account and a lot of these trades in my IRA. So as long as you have the money, you don't need margin requirements and you don't need to do any spread trading. So as long as you have the money in the account, that is all we require for this program. So Jeanette, I don't know if you see any other questions, but if you do, I'm happy to hang out as long as everyone needs.
Oops, I guess I got to turn my mic on. That would probably help. I've seen this question a couple times. When does the scanner put out the trade?
Perfect. Great question. I should have answered that before. I should know this. It's the scanner I created. So the scanner, the cool thing about the scanner is whenever you view the scanner, it updates every minute throughout the day. So whenever you are viewing the scanner, what you're looking at are the most accurate stocks and those criteria. So if you look at the scanner, let's say 10 a.m. Eastern time, when you're looking at it, everything in the scanner is accurate for that very minute. If you're looking at the scanner, let's say at 3:30 Eastern time, everything that you're looking at on the scanner is accurate for that moment. Earlier, we had it updating every hour. Now we have it updating about every minute. So whenever you are viewing the scanner, and again, there's no specific online brokerage that you need to be able to view the scanner because it is a Google document that you can access as long as you have internet access. That's all you need. So whenever you are looking at the scanner, those results that you're seeing are accurate for that minute in time.
Right. Right. And I've seen the scanner and it's super cool, and that was the perfect answer because that's, it's just like so simple to have it right there in front of you. And
for the folks out there who maybe don't know too much about me, this is not my first rodeo in the trading space and the education space. This program that we have created, look at these results. Look at Siva, 100% winner in Avago. Again, Aaron, $32,485 in profits in 11 calendar days. Tori, 45% winner in Lulu overnight. Paulette, 20% winner in Mattel. Mark, 33% winner in Wendy's. Siva, 60% winners in INO and SPCE. Philip, 20% winner in SPCE. Jason, 25% winner in Baidu in 2 days. This is basically like the best of the best of the best of everything we've ever created. Again, I know so many folks out there, they want to generate that additional income. They want to supplement their retirement. They want to quit their day job. And they want to do it all without having to spend too much time doing it. That is literally, if you are that person out there, we created this program for you. Now, I do see that we have one last slot remaining, so make sure to ask those questions because when that last slot is taken, we're going to take away the bonuses and the price is going to go up to $19.97.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks like there's a lot of questions, but we're out of time, I think. And you're out of units, I think. We could take one more.
Last slot remaining. So, you could ask as many questions. And Jeanette, if we do have a lot of questions, Jeanette, it's up to you. We can reopen the price and bonuses for the Q&A. It's up to you what you want to do.
Okay. Let's see. Is this something you can do? Ra is asking, is this something you can do if you have a full-time job?
So absolutely 100%. Again, for the folks out there who maybe have like a full-time job, but they maybe don't have enough time, 85% of the members of this program also have full-time day jobs. And they're able to get results just like Brad. Look at those results. So again, we created the scanner so that you do not have to do any research yourself. You just check the scanner, you follow the instructions that the scanner gives you, and then you go on with the rest of your day. And the really cool thing is, for each of these trades, we have a very specific profit target and a very specific stop loss. So in the documentation for how to place each of these trades, all you have to do is put the trade on, put in the closing orders, and walk away. You never have to do anything else with that trade because we show you how to automate all of the closing orders.
Okay. Here's a good question. Can you place trades after market hours?
So you cannot place trades after the market is closed because you're not going to get filled, right? So what some of our members do who can't make it to the market on a given day, they'll check the scanner after the market has closed. Let's say at 8 o'clock at night, they'll write down a couple of the trades that they really like. Then the next day when the market opens, they'll go ahead and place those trades. That's totally fine for what we do here. Because again, every day is a little bit different. Sometimes we got soccer practice with the kids. Other times we have more meetings at work. This was created literally for minimum effort. As long as you're able to follow step-by-step instructions, that is our requirement for being successful with this program.
Do you need to run the scanner? Okay, I think this is the question that is maybe what there's some confusion. Do you need to run the scanner using Google search engine?
No, so the scanner is a Google document. So when you enroll in the program, I'm going to give you a link, and the link is going to say, here is the scanner. So you can save that to your phone. You can save it anywhere. It's on the internet. So all you need is internet access. You don't need any Google permissions. You don't need any online brokerage account that's specific. All you need is internet access. That is it. It is a website that you go to. It is a URL that you go to, and you just view the scanner. Like if you enroll in the program right now, you can go to the scanner in 30 seconds, and you'll be able to see exactly what we're talking about. I know, Jeanette, we also get a bunch of questions on the number of trade alerts. So far this year, we've done about 3 to 4 trade alerts per week. This current week, we did a little bit less up until the election, but we're normally doing about 3 to 4 trade alerts per week on average.
Okay, that's really important because a lot of people, they need to know how much time they're going to have to put into it. And
yeah, and again, like at the end of the day, I do think personally, not to cut you off, Jay, but I do think personally that the idea of time is something that is kind of the wrong question. I think for those folks who ask the question about time, a much better question would be, is it a priority? If it's a priority for you, you will make the time.
Right. That's
right. So like the truth is, like, I do think time is not the actual question that you're asking. I think it's something else that you're asking. So for the folks that are asking, do I have enough time? That's the wrong question. The question is it a priority? So if you're sitting there and you're like, maybe, I don't know if I have enough time, is generating weekly income a priority for you? Is it a priority for you if it takes you 10 to 15 minutes a day? Look, and the truth is, if the answer is no, I wish you the best of luck. But if it is a priority for you and you can figure out how to give yourself 10 to 15 minutes a day, then what is stopping you? Nothing. Many of these testimonials that you see, Paulette, I know for a fact, Paulette, and I know Mark too, these people have full-time day jobs. So what they do, they block off their calendar for 20 minutes during the day for lunch, just to place the trades. Not because they're just the crazy smartest people in the world, but because it is a priority for them. So if you're asking about time, you're asking the wrong question. The right question is it a priority for you? I know for me, generating weekly income, making more money in the market, that is 100% a priority for me. So time is completely irrelevant.
I know the answer to this question, but it's been asked several times. Is your personal scanner, are you using something personally over there different from the Consistent Trader scanner?
Nope. So the one that cost me over $25,000 to make is the one that you and I, assuming you enroll in the program, are going to be going off of each and every day to place trades. So I know in other programs, not mine, but in other programs out there, one of the things I hear is that, hey, when you place a trade in terms of trade alerts, by the time I look for the trade, the price is totally different. And I get that. I've seen that in other programs and services. Here's a really cool thing about Consistent Trader. You're going to see you have access to the scanner all day, every day. There will be times where you will place a trade before I even do it. Why? Because we're looking at the same scanner. We're looking for the same criteria. So there have been plenty of times. I mean, look at Penny. Holy moly, my TJX 3-day call placed on Friday just closed for a 40% profit. Somebody pinch me. This program is the bomb. Or Bob, 77% winner in NVIDIA. I think I'm going to like the program. Many of these are coming from our members just taking a look at the scanner, and sometimes they're getting in the trade before I do because they know the criteria I'm looking for. Have you ever seen another program where that is even remotely possible? That's very possible with this program.
How do they know the strike price and dates of calls and puts by using the scanner?
The scanner will tell you on it exactly what trade to take. It will give you the expiration. If you're going to buy a call, it will tell you what call to buy. Why? Because again, remember, we have already done the data. The data tells us, hey, when this criteria is met, here is the best trade to take. That is on the scanner. So you might mess around in the members area every now and again. You might watch some of our videos, but I would say by a far stretch, the majority of our members, they're just looking at the scanner and they're never leaving the scanner to decide to place a trade. They look at the scanner, they like the results, the scanner tells them what trade to place, and they just place it. That idea that I just mentioned right there, which for so many traders feels like a fantasy, is not only reality with Consistent Trader, it's happening every single day. Look at Jim. Both CT trades, they abbreviate Consistent Trader as CT, my members. Both trades closed at 40% profit in less than 24 hours. These consistent trades are just like Frosted Flakes. They're great. Again, it's because everyone knows the drill. Everyone knows the criteria in the scanner, and everyone knows the trade to place.
I wanna do this shout out right here because Vera, one of your members, is in the she's in the session right now, and she told me to share this, and I'm gonna send you this image so you can. But she says you can tell them I'm a disabled dyslexic in 2 programs, and I only spend 20 to 30 minutes a day making these trades.
That's my girl Vera R, right?
Yep.
Again, look, talk about, I really want everyone to hear this because the truth is, what's your excuse? I mean, that person has a lot of things working against her, and she's able to participate in this program and do very well in just 20, 30 minutes a day. So again, don't give me the time stuff. Is it a priority for you? Is it a priority for generate additional income? If it is, you'll make time for it.
When they have access, can their trading partner also use access to the scanner? They're trading together. How does that work? It's not a multiple license thing, right?
Yeah, this isn't a multiple license thing, but if you do have a trading partner, what I would say is enroll in the program, then shoot my team an email, and maybe we can kind of discount it for your partner, if you will. But this is not like a multiple license thing because we're pretty strict. The stuff that we have in this program is strong. Is very, very strong. So
Yeah.
I would say for you, if you have like a partner who you trade with, we're not going to give it away for free, but just go ahead and enroll in the program and then send us a note, say, hey, I got a trading partner, and maybe we'll throw your trading partner a discount.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. This is kind of a broad question, but I feel like it's one of those things that's in the back of people's minds. But one of the questions is, like, do you set a goal for your students? Like, you want to help them take their account from blah to blah in months or years, or is it just consistency? Is it help them get profitable? I know everybody's on such a different level. It's a tough question to answer, but
yeah, well, I
I'm sure
have a good
you
answer
have
to
heard it
that.
before. Okay.
So many folks in trading, they have a specific dollar amount they want to make, right? Maybe they got laid off, or this year has been a tough year, or maybe they're furloughed, or maybe their income isn't what it used to be. So they come to trading or they enroll in a program because they want to go out there and instantly replace that income, right? They want that $5,000 a month. They want that $10,000 a month instantly. I'm here to tell you that after working with 6,000 individual traders, that is not something to focus on. Why? Because if you're focusing on a dollar goal, right? $5,000 in the first month, $10,000 in the first month, your decisions are all going to be based off of making that money. What we do with all of our new members, and I want everyone, whether you enroll in this program or not, I still see there's a bunch of you on this training. So everyone, really pay attention to what I'm about to say, because this is going to help you regardless if you work with me or not. The single most important thing for your trading success is that you are consistent making money. It's why we call the program Consistent Trader. That means every month or every quarter, you're making money. Because here's the cool thing about trading. If you can do that, you can grow your account to basically any size. Problem is, many traders try to run a marathon before they even learn how to crawl, or God forbid, walk. So when you come on board to any of my programs, and especially in Consistent Trader, the first thing is to make you consistent. At the end of each month or at the end of each quarter, your account is larger than it was. Because if you can do that via very basic compounding and money management, you can grow that account to any size. You all just saw that I have a pretty significant account. That account started way, way, way smaller. It started nowhere near $1 million. And again, the first thing that I had to do was learn how to be consistent. And then you just rinse and repeat the whole thing over and over again. So if you're wondering of what we do, everything we do, your approach to trading, your risk, your money management, the types of trades you take, if you're doing that consistently and you're making money consistently each month, not every day, not every week, every month, growing the account is far easier than most people think. But the problem is, most people go out there and they want to grow their account before they even made any money in the first place.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Stephen, you have done an amazing job answering all these questions. Like, I think we're down to the bottom of it. So you killed it.
Thank you, Jay.
All right, brother.
Well, good luck tonight. I'll be rooting for you tonight.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thanks for spending Saturday with us. And have a great evening. Okay.